Guess we just admit them all, right, Audrey?
Yeah, I think admit all at the same time. So we got 21. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, let's get started.
Yep, perfectly. Yeah, just hit admit all.
Admit all, okay. Well, hello. This is Fred Coe with Graphical Networks. I hope everyone's having a great day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adriana. I am the sales associate here at Graphical Networks.
And I am the sales director for Graphical Networks. Thanks so much for take 30 minutes out of your time. We do appreciate it. Your interest with our network discovery, network mapping webinar. So I'm going to share my screen. And before we started, there are a couple housekeeping rules. There is a chat button that you can feel free to chat with us throughout our webinar. There's also a Q&A button as well. So feel free to ask any questions. And we will get back to them towards the end of the webinar.
Yes, please. We welcome any questions.
And here is our contact information below. So again, my name is Fred Coe. It's my email address, fred.coe@graphicalnetworks.com. My colleague Adriana, it's adriana.laura@graphicalnetworks.com. So if you do need to reach us afterwards, feel free to email us. So this is a 30-minute webinar. We'll probably end it a little sooner, so if that's okay with everyone. So we're going to do a quick overview. Audrey's going to present 2 polling questions. We will share the results. Then we will go through a very high-level overview of our network discovery engine in netTerrain and how it looks like in the network type maps. And as I mentioned before, feel free to ask any questions throughout. We will monitor both the chat and the Q&A button throughout. So netTerrain, I'm going to talk a little bit about our software netTerrain. It is a network documentation tool. It encompasses 3 tools in one, more or less. It's first and foremost, it is a network documentation tool. So it doesn't have our own network discovery engine. It also has hooks into other third-party network monitoring tools like SolarWinds, WhatsUp Gold. If you have a lot of money and time spent on a CMDB type solution like ServiceNow or Remedy, and would like to pull in network assets, we also have connectors to that as well. Another part of netTerrain, which we will not talk about today, is our DCIM. So if you're looking to document your racks, all the capacity of your space, power, weight availability, that is our netTerrain DCIM, which again, we will not talk about today. And the last part of netTerrain is cable management. Management both the inside plants, meaning inside your data center rooms, telecom room cables, your office floors, as well as outside plants. If you have outside fiber, tracking fiber strands, fiber ducts, that's what we call our outside plant module, which again, you can look at our past webinar video recordings on YouTube to take a look at those other 2 modules or 2 other feature sets within netTerrain. But for today, we're talking about what's on my network. Let's say, for example, I'm a new network admin. I just got hired. I sit down at the desk like, I have no idea what's on my network. How do I get started? Is it dragging a piece of paper, music diagrams, and start manually creating the diagrams itself? How time-consuming can that be for you and your job duties? And once you do get your diagrams and your spreadsheets up to date, how quickly are they outdated? Can you rely on them? Are they a true trusted source for up-to-date network diagrams? The ability to search for information fast and quickly. If you have a lot of spreadsheets, visual diagrams, how hard is it to actually find that right information fast and quickly when, and God forbid, when the network goes down? And we've seen a lot of people, a lot of network guys retiring these days. And it's been a big struggle for a lot of companies trying to retain what we call Bob, all the knowledge that's in his head. It leaves when the person retires or leaves the company. So I've seen a lot of organizations facing that challenge. How do you get accurate network documentation that's up to date, that you basically press a button and it will go out and discover your network? Sure, there are a lot of tools out there that does this. A lot of network monitoring tools like SolarWinds. I'm sure you guys have heard of netTerrain. There are a lot of tools out there that does network monitoring, and by far we are not a monitoring tool. We're strictly a network documentation tool. So if you need the bandwidth utilization, traffic flows, throughput, netTerrain is not it. We're strictly what's on the network and how are they connected. So you can pass the compliance audit type regulatory compliance. So you have these network diagrams that you can print out and you know that's up to date. So again, finding good IT mapping software. One thing I also hear is that sometimes other network discovery tools are vendor agnostic. They only focus on their certain hardware manufactured type devices. So with netTerrain, we're vendor agnostic. So if you have Cisco, Juniper, Huawei, doesn't matter for us. As long as your network devices are SNMP enabled, netTerrain can go out and discover not only all the network assets, but also how are they connected. So netTerrain, it does automatic network discovery. Again, it uses SNMP. If you don't have SNMP enabled, network administrators, if you need a network discovery tool, you have to make sure they're all enabled or it's not going to work. So probably most all the network vendors out there probably use SNMP protocols. Real-time diagrams. So netTerrain has a scheduler that you can schedule up to the minute, day, month. You set the schedule intervals and how often you want the diagrams updated. Compatibility. So I'll show you in our netTerrain collector, you can integrate really any third-party database tool. We have a complete ServiceNow connector. It does pull in all your assets. We're also being soon have the ability to use their ticketing system as well. If you have Remedy, again, we have these hooks into third-party applications. If you all have cloud monitoring type tools or a hybrid infrastructure, cloud infrastructure like AWS, Azure, GCP, we also have hooks into those as well. So netTerrain can not only discover your traditional physical network, you can also discover your cloud as well. netTerrain is a client-server solution. It's not a desktop tool, so you will need to install netTerrain on a Windows server. It needs a SQL Server backend database as well, or SQL Server Express. So with a centralized server tool like netTerrain, you can easily search for a specific IP address, specific equipment, in seconds. You can have other team members accessing the same diagrams at the same time. They can also collaborate. You can attach documents. So you can do everything all in one centralized platform. So almost think of netTerrain almost like a visual CMDB. So if you want to bring in data from ServiceNow, SolarWinds, using our SNMP discovery, your cloud, we can put all that information and create a centralized view of your network. So I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to have Adriana Do the poll questions.
Hey, yep, we have a couple poll questions
How do I stop sharing? Okay.
for you guys. So let me pull those up really quick. So, okay, first question, guys. Let me launch this. All right, hopefully everybody's seeing this screen here. How do you currently map or document the network? You can choose more than one, that's totally fine. So first, manual tools. So are you using Visio, spreadsheets, etc., network documentation or other mapping software, another outdated software or homegrown system, or you don't have a system in place, which is totally okay, or something else. And if it is something else, if you want to drop the answer in the chat, that would be awesome. And we can share these results shortly. We'll give you a couple minutes to answer.
Yeah, Audrey, if you share the results too after we're done.
Yep.
Great.
Yep, absolutely. Just give everybody another minute to answer. So let's go ahead and see the results. Okay, so a lot of you, 50% said manual tools, so Visio, spreadsheets, that's what we hear a lot. And another 25% some other type of software. Awesome. Okay, thank you very much for that. And we will go on to our next poll. This is our last one. And then we'll get to the demo, I promise. Okay, so why are you interested in automatic network maps? So essentially, why did you join this webinar? What is it that, what issues are you having? Do you want to speed up troubleshooting and repair times, plan capacity and expansions better, enhance compliance and security, save time, retain valuable employee knowledge, and of course you could choose more than one. So please go ahead and put in your answers and we will share momentarily. Everybody, a couple more seconds here to answer.
I think that's enough time.
Are you able to see the responses? So we have 25% with speed up troubleshooting and repair times, 19% with plan capacity and expansions, and then 15% with enhanced compliance and security. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
All right.
Now moving on.
So thank you for that. All right, so next, see netTerrain in action. After that, we'll go through some of your questions. So let's see. So netTerrain. So one of the questions people ask me is netTerrain a SaaS cloud type solution or is it on-prem? The answer is both. If you want to install netTerrain on-premise, that's fine. It is a Windows application, so you need to install netTerrain on a Windows server. For the web web app server, you need to install IIS and .NET Framework. The backend database, we do require Microsoft SQL database server license. For smaller deployments or smaller teams, we do also support SQL Server Express. So if you want to install netTerrain on your server, have at it. It never has to go outside your network, so it stays inside your network. Some people who want to have a cloud solution, we do offer that as well. It's at netTerrain.us. I'll share that with you later. Is our SaaS site. So if you want to use netTerrain using SaaS, that's great too. And in order to discover your network, you need to download the collector. The collector is the only thick client you need in netTerrain. So you go under Tools or Help and click on Utilities and download the collector. So when you download the collector, again, this needs to be installed on your network, or you can do a remote desktop or VPN, but it needs to somehow communicate to your network. So the netTerrain collector itself is a thick client right here. In version 10, we're going to be putting this into the web UI, so you won't need this anymore. So again, we have these hooks into these third-party applications as I mentioned before. But for today, I'm just going to talk about primarily SNMP. But we also do SSH and WMI. So in order to do this, you need to click on Configure. You will need to enter either an IP address and use it as a C discovery. So, like a core router, for example, you check how far the crawl and depth you want to go down. Enter your IP address range, the version of SNMP. We support all 3 versions. And then you will need to enter in your credentials. One next important part is you have to click on Advanced. So Advanced is going to show you what can we discover, what are the SNMP tables, the network tables that we go out and try to read to try and discover your network. So we do layer 2 discovery. We do bridge. ARP tables is coming in our next 9.7 release, hopefully at the end of the week. If you use a lot of Cisco devices, we do also support CDP, and for other non-Cisco devices, LLDP. So again, we do with layer 2 and layer 3 discovery, as well as VLAN discovery. You want to make sure you uncheck ping devices. If not, your networking map is going to look like a nightmare, to be honest. In our 9.7 release, this is unchecked. So this is if you do the C discovery, you want to check how far down the network you want to crawl. And yeah, that's it. And then you click close, and then your settings, you can do a scheduler. So if you want to do it every hour, X number of minutes, days, this is where you would schedule the network discovery. And if you want to automatically push this data into your netTerrain web diagrams, this is where you can do it right here. Now, we have a very basic polar, by all means. We're not WhatsUp Gold, SolarWinds, NetBrain. Again, we're more what's on my network. But if you do want to enable device polling, we do ping and SNMP timeouts. So that is our only option. So then you hit scan. It's going to scan and scan your network. It's going to look something like this. Now we have a catalog of objects in our catalog. It's about 20,000 devices in our catalog. And so you'll see the corresponding match types here. But on occasion, if we don't have a type in the catalog, you would need to map it, like the Cisco switch, for example. You need to right-click and map type. So a little extra step. And then you hit push. It's going to push to your netTerrain server. Again, this could be your hosted solution or your on-prem solution. And then it's going to look something like this. These are the IP address ranges. And it's going to look something like this. In our 9.7 release, we're not going to go down to the ports. It's going to stop discovery here. And then you'll have information like right here, from name, just rename, shows you the port and the cards and the connection. So again, this is the LLDP, shows you from and to MAC address, IP address. And if you zoom in, with the SMP in our new 9.7 release, we're going to add a lot more MIB values. But this shows you your subscription from SMP MIBs. Shows you last discovered, and any VLAN that's associated with it. If you want to search like this IP address, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to zoom back out. Let's say you need to do a search on a big IP address really quick and find where it's located. It hits S, which is a shortcuts. I'm going to put the IP address. It's going to do a search, and it's going to search for that IP address in this diagram. Or at least I hope it will. Yeah. There it goes. All right, so it shows you here IP address. So then show this in the diagram. All right, and yeah, so that's basically the extent of our network discovery. So it pulls in the data, it pulls in your devices. If you want to run a report, like the 36 devices in here that was discovered, your manager wants a report of all your devices in a nice format. We have a couple reporting tools here where you can load an existing query. Let's say like diagram devices. So show me all the devices in this diagram in the table report. You hit submit, and it's going to pull this information out. And then what you can export to CSV. In our 9.7 release, you can also export this to Excel. If you want to build a little more, you can also add in other items. Let's see. So you include unshared properties. And then all the different data fields that were associated for that device, you can put in here, like device, serial number. Again, they're just adding more data fields to the report that I just did. And okay, hit submit. So now there are other reports, data fields here in this reports. One thing too, one question some people ask is, hey, that's great, this is being discovered, but I want to also see if I can actually place this device in a network room, network closet, or data center room. So you definitely can do that in netTerrain. So I'm gonna copy this. But also one thing too, you can also move around these. You can make these bigger, larger. It's up to you to manipulate and move these around. So we give you that flexibility for you to edit these diagrams, move it. If there are devices that are not discoverable and you want to add it in here, it's a matter of simply drag and drop in items like these patch panels. And if you want to do connections, let's say between the switch and this patch panel, you control select the network devices, you right click, hit connections, and insert cables. So this will take you down to the port side. So let's see, port 2 to port B2. Hit create connection. I'll make this an Ethernet. And now you see there's a new connection here. If you double click on the patch panel, you'll see the connections right here. If you double click on the link, it'll do what we call a circuit layout record or circuit trace. Showing that port 2 inside switch 8, it's connected through an Ethernet connection to port B2. So that's patch panel as a cross connect. And going back to the device that I copied, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to create diagrams from scratch. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do site. If you want, you can upload background images. I'll just do like an office building. Again, that's something you don't have to do. I'm just showing the other capabilities you could do in netTerrain. All these objects have data fields that you can customize and add. So hit fields here, hit add new, customer name. So there's a data field that's created called customer name. If you right click on any object, you can also attach documents. So a lot of customers embed documents to like network devices for like config files. So you can do that in netTerrain as well. And then you can get third floor. If you want, you can insert a floor plan if you want, or I'll go to page, grid. I'll insert a rack in here. I'll call this rack A1. Double click and hit, oops, not there. Let me go back here again. You know, click too many times. So I'm going to copy, connect to. Hit alias. So this is going to alias the object. Again, this object lives in 2 diagrams now. It's going to live off your logical diagrams as well as your physical. So if you double click on this, it'll take you back to the backplane of your logical representation of the device. All right. All right. That's our network discovery in a nutshell. So again, netTerrain is used primarily for network discovery. So I'm a new network admin. I need to see what's connected to my network and how are things connected to my network. If I have a lot of equipment that's not SMP enabled and I like to add those devices in here, you can do that here. You can manipulate, move these around. Again, you can make it the look and feel as to what you like the diagrams to be. Our catalog is about 20,000 devices. If there's a device not in a catalog, you can either create it yourself, or like 99% of our customers, they will just request a custom support. We usually turn around within 24, 48 hours, and you would import this as a JSON file. So I think that's all the time I have now. Yeah, 2:29. I'll stop my
David,
share.
I think that might help answer your question, but there was a question in the chat, Fred, regarding
Sure.
devices. And if it works with certain devices. So if it's not in our catalog, as Fred explained, you can import it yourself or request it from us.
Yes, we're vendor agnostic. So as long as that device is SMP enabled and you put it in the IP address range, we will discover it and we will bring it in. Okay.
Hopefully that helps, David. Any other questions? Please feel free to reach out to either of us.
And if you want to try it out, if you go to this site here, I think we'll put this in a follow-up email, I believe. Where is the chat feature here? I'll put this to everyone.
Yes, we do have a 14-day trial, David, as well. And last question, will version 10 identify?
Before I get here, so when you do sign up, there are a couple steps. If you guys remember, you have to download the collector. So you got to go to Help, Utilities Collector. And remember, in the collector level, you have to go to S&P, hit Configure, again, enter your IP address ranges. Make sure, please, go into Advanced button. These are a lot of the other mid values that we're able to discover in netTerrain. But make sure you go under here and check the tables. We've seen a lot of people that try netTerrain and they don't click these tables. So it's very important to click these tables to run your discovery. And please uncheck this add ping devices. Trust me. Yeah. All right, sorry. That's it.
No worries. We had another question in the chat, Fred. If version 10 is going to identify down to the port level.
Well, again, the ports so I'll be honest, a lot of companies have a hard time when they have cards inside network devices to read S&P. And so that's why, I'll be frank, that's why our discovery down to the port level has been missing a lot. And it's the same with a lot of the vendors. And that's why a lot of vendors do it this way. Show the connection this way. So I don't know if you see that, what I'm highlighting. So this shows you the ports. Right here. You guys see that? That's how you're able to read the port information.
And last question, pricing. How do we price?
Yes.
Do we have time for that?
I actually pulled that up. So we price by number of objects or devices. So we start at 500 devices. And we also count number of users. These would be admin editor users. So we start off 500 devices, one user. You're looking at a yearly price of $500 US. For SaaS, it is $600 US. If you can see that here. If you have 1,000 devices, it's $11.94. 2 users, the prices go up a little bit more. So we're all about devices and number of users. On-prem, it includes unlimited read-only viewers. Cloud does not. So SaaS, a user is a user for us, but versus on-prem, unlimited read-only viewers. That's the difference between on-prem and SaaS for us. And plus with SaaS, everything's all done through AWS, Virginia East. But yeah, that's how we price netTerrain. Number of objects and number of admin editor users. If you want a more accurate quote, you can contact myself or Adriana. And again, you can sign up here. If you require on-prem install, we do that case by case. So again, you can reach out to myself or Adriana. All right, any other questions?
Thank you, guys.
Fred,
Yep.
2 more questions in the chat.
Sure.
Does netTerrain cover optical devices?
Like fiber optic devices? Yeah, yes it does. In fact, a lot of our customers, all they do is document fiber and copper cables. So yes, we do fiber optic. We have a lot of Corning devices, CommScope devices. Yeah, for sure. Canada residency options. If you want SaaS in Canada, yes, we can definitely do that. We have them in Hong Kong, Germany, other instances where our customers are. Email address. This is my email address. I'm gonna write down in the chat.
I'm typing it for you.
Okay.
Where's Help Support Center at?
It's here. We're located in Gaithersburg, Maryland. It's about 10-15 miles north of Washington, D.C. Our support hours are standard Eastern time business hours, 8:30 to 5:30. But when you do become a customer of ours, we have a customer support website where you can enter in tickets. Our staff is actually global, so we do answer those tickets in pretty fast turnaround time. Let's see, is this an on-prem deployment? It's not an appliance. You have to install netTerrain on your own Windows Server platform. So again, you'll need to install Windows Server, IIS, .NET Framework, SQL Server database that you have to supply, or SQL Server Express.
Linux server, Fred, that's not supported, correct?
I'm sorry?
Linux, there was a
No, you
question
cannot install
about
netTerrain on Linux. Yeah, if you need Linux, we're not it. Someone mentioned about Brazil. Yes, we do have AWS instances. I don't know where it is in Latin America. That's something I could ask my support team. All right.
We got all the questions. NetTerrain SaaS. Okay, yep.
Yes, you can install netTerrain on site. Just feel free to reach out to Adriana or myself. We just need to get my boss's approval to get that done. So we just need a short time to talk with you. All right.
We'll be happy to reach out.
So thank you so much for everyone and your time.
Thanks, David. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.